Hello, you are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 29. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today's episode, I'm talking with my daughter Amelia about our mother-daughter trip. This trip was so much fun, and talking with her about it was a delight. I hope you enjoy. If you want to see tons of pictures from our trips and lots of fun content, check us out on Instagram at Disney Travel Tales. If you listened to my last episode, you know that I am now an independent agent working with my favorite agency, Trolley Lane Travel. I would love to help you plan your next magical vacation. Planning Disney vacations is a passion of mine. When planning my own trips, I take the time to plan our days with lots of thought and attention, and I will take all my tricks to make sure your vacation leaves you feeling content. The best part of all of this is my services are complimentary to you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com or check out my Facebook page at Jenny with Trolley Lane Travel LLC. Also, by using me, you get the chance to be on the podcast. Retelling your travel tale really is the best keepsake you can have. I've recorded 2 of my trips, and I love going back and listening to them. It's so special. Okay, so let's get going. Imagine yourself watching Enchantment for the very first time, and let's go. Okay, so I am joined today with my daughter Amelia, and we are going to talk about our mother-daughter trip that we just got home from. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Amelia, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with Disney vacations?
My name's Amelia, and I'm 9 years old, and I really like the Disney trip.
How many Disney trips have you been on?
3.
You've been to Disneyland once when you were, I think you're about 4. Do you remember anything about that trip?
I remember we met Olaf.
Yes, we did. That was really fun. That was such a great trip. And that was actually my first time to Disneyland as well. And then you have been to Disney World twice. You got to go twice in 1 year. That's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to do this mother-daughter trip because I wanted to visit Disney during the 50th annual celebration. And I knew that we wouldn't be able to go as a family because we are a family of 5 and Disney vacations for us are pretty expensive. And so we have a couple of other big trips planned this year. And so I talked to my husband and we figured out a way that me and Amelia could go. And I decided to go in January because I was hoping the parks would not be crowded, but we will talk about that later. But we also wanted to visit the Festival of the Arts because Amelia is really big into art. And one of my goals is to visit all the festivals. And this was one that we have not visited. And so that is why we chose January. So we traveled January 19th through the 23rd. We left on a Wednesday. I took Amelia out of school for 3 days, and we had an early morning flight to Orlando from Austin. Our flight left at 8:30, and we landed in Orlando around 11:45, 11:50, and we stayed at the Port Orleans Riverside Resort in a royal guest room. Since it was just me and her, I kind of wanted to find somewhere special for us to stay that the boys in our family probably wouldn't love. And this room was just absolutely perfect for us. We had Becky from Trolley Lane Travel help us plan our trip. She was awesome. She's done mother-daughter trips. And so it was just great having her help us plan everything. So for this trip, I wanted to try Genie Plus. I had listened to a couple of podcasts about Genie Plus. I had read tons of blogs about Genie Plus. And one of the things that I that pretty much everyone said is you need to start planning your day with Genie Plus, even if you are not necessarily going to make your time. But you just need to start going at 7 a.m. So when we were at the airport, I kind of forgot at 7 a.m. to make our first Genie Plus reservation. So at 7:30, we were sitting at the gate, and security at the airport was super easy. There wasn't a lot of people there. We waited maybe 10, 15 minutes to get through, but it was no big deal. So we're sitting at the gate eating some breakfast, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 7:30. I need to make our first reservation for Genie Plus. So we were going to Magic Kingdom when we got to Orlando. So I decided to jump on Genie Plus, and I grabbed us a Jungle Cruise, and our time was 4:40 to 5:40, which was so perfect for us because I wasn't sure what time we were going to get to the park exactly. I knew we probably didn't want to run and do a ride right away, and Jungle Cruise was one of our must-dos for this trip. I also decided to go ahead and mobile order lunch for us so that because I knew we were going to be hungry once we got there. We were landing around lunchtime. We didn't want to spend a lot of time at the resort when we got there. We were hoping our room would be ready, and we kind of just wanted to drop things off and get to the parks as soon as possible. So I mobile ordered us a lunch at Pinocchio's Village House for a pickup between 2 and 2:30. How did you think the flight was, Amelia?
It was fine.
What did you do on the flight?
I played my iPad.
Yeah, did you watch movies?
A few.
What movies did you watch?
I didn't really watch a lot of movies. I just watched Babysitter's Club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great flight. We flew Southwest. I had paid extra so that we could get the A boarding. So I think we were in the second or third row of the plane. We got on very quickly, and we got very close to the front so we could get off as soon as possible. Another trick that I always like to do is to only pack carry-ons, which packing only in carry-ons for a Disney vacation is actually kind of hard because I knew we love to shop, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew we were going to be buying a lot of souvenirs. So what I did was I actually packed bags inside of our suitcase so that when we flew home, we could just check our suitcases, because once we got home, there was no rush to grab our bags and get home as soon as possible. But when we were going to Disney, I did not want to stay around and wait for a checked bag. So I just wanted to grab our bags off the plane and head straight to the car and get to the parks as soon as we could. So it was nice having that A boarding pass because I knew we were going to get a good seat close to the front, and I knew we were going to be able to put our carry-on suitcases in the above compartments. So while we were on the plane, our second opportunity for Genie Plus came up. So I'm actually going to do a whole episode about Genie Plus to explain this all a little bit better. So you can make your second reservation for Genie Plus 2 hours after the park opens. So that day, Magic Kingdom was opening at 9 a.m. So I could make my next Genie Plus at 11 a.m. However, we were in the plane. So I bought the plane's Wi-Fi for Southwest. It was $8. And at 10 a.m. our time, I logged onto the app and I got a Haunted Mansion Genie Plus at our entrance time was going to be 12:40 to 1:40. Now, I wasn't 100% sure if we were even going to make this. I kind of just grabbed it to grab it. There weren't really any other good options for us at the time. Haunted Mansion was a ride that I knew we were going to want to do. I had been looking at wait times for rides while we were in the air, and the park was so busy. So I just thought, I'm going to grab this. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. No big deal. So once we got to Orlando, we got off the plane as soon as we could. I had made us a reservation with Tiffany Town Car to pick us up from the airport, take us to our resort, and then to pick us up at our resort on our departure day and take us back to the airport. So I was texting with our driver. He texted me while we were still up in the air. I didn't get that text until we landed. He was already there waiting for us. He told us exactly where to go. So we went down to baggage claim and he was there waiting for us. And so we this was so interesting. So I've been to Orlando a few times. I've done Magical Express. I've done Uber. I've done taxi. And you always, when you get there, when you're at baggage claim, you go out to like the street to the left. Well, he grabbed our bags for us and he took us out like this back entrance, almost to this like airport alleyway. So we walk out there and there's like limousines and like Suburbans with really tinted windows. And it was kind of cool. Like, wasn't it? We felt kind of special.
I thought we were going in the limo.
Yeah, Amelia was like, is that our car? I said, no, unfortunately, that is not our car. But we did have a really nice car. We had a Lincoln Town Car, or a Lincoln Navigator, the SUV. He loaded our bags up, opened the door for us. The car was so nice. It was super clean. He was so nice. He knew we were super excited to get to the parks. So he got us there pretty fast. So the Tiffany Town Car experience was really great. We landed at 11:55 and we were in our car by 12:10. So it was super seamless, super easy. So I had checked into our room a week prior. I guess it was probably right when we got into the car, I got on the My Disney Experience app and checked our room to see if it was ready. And our room was actually ready and we had a room number. So we were able to check in early. We were able to go straight to our room and I was able to use the app to unlock the door to our room. This was super exciting. So we got to the resort very quickly. I feel like there was no traffic. He was a super speedy driver. He knew we were excited. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. It was sunny and probably in the high 70s, low 80s. Like it felt really nice outside. So we pull up to Riverside. The man at the entrance, asked if we had our room number. I said we did. He gave us a map, told us exactly how to get to our room. Our driver dropped us off right, literally outside of our room. We were on the first floor, which I was super excited about, in one of the mansions, so we didn't even have to worry about stairs. We went straight to our room. We were so excited, weren't we?
Yeah, and it smelled amazing.
Oh, it was so beautiful. When we opened the door to our room, what was your first impression of the room?
I think probably I noticed the table had a fake piece of paper and I thought it was real. But my favorite part was probably the beds. They were really comfy.
So what was on the fake piece of paper?
I didn't read it.
So it was a letter from Tiana. It was welcoming us to the resort and saying she hoped that her and her friends hope we have an amazing time. What was special about the beds?
There was this thing on the wall next to our beds where you turned it on and fireworks came out and stuff.
Yeah,
really cool.
The headboards had fireworks in them. We were so excited. I remember we were like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. This is so cute. Look at the pictures. We were going around the room, super excited. We didn't spend a lot of time. I'm also going to do another episode where we really deep dive into this resort because this resort was absolutely gorgeous. It was my first time going there and it was beautiful and I highly recommend it to anyone. So what we did after we got to the room, we just literally dropped off our bags. We freshened up a little bit, went to the restroom, and then I got on the My Disney Experience app and checked the bus times to get to Magic Kingdom. So it was kind of weird. Riverside has an inner bus loop, and we were super close to the East Depot. I had requested that we be close to one of the bus stops because I wanted that to be a short walk. So when I looked at the times, it didn't even have a time for pickup at the East Depot for Magic Kingdom. So I was like, but it did have a time for the main building. And I thought, oh, this will be great. We can kind of walk through the lobby, check it out a little bit, and go over to the bus stop. So we walked over to the main bus stop. It was probably a 10-minute walk. It wasn't bad. And we were so excited at this point, and the weather was gorgeous. So we got to the bus stop, and we kind of waited a long time, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
The bus times were wrong. They were either wrong or the bus had come early and we had just missed it. Because I think we sat there for 15, 20 minutes waiting for a bus. And Amelia was very impatient.
I was.
She just wanted to get to the parks. But it was fun. We took some pictures, and then like all these buses for Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios came. The bus drivers were so nice. They'd get off the bus and they'd be like, it's coming, y'all have a great day. We'll see you the next time when you go to these parks. But finally, our bus to Magic Kingdom came. So we ended up making it to the parks at like 1:55. So we missed our Haunted Mansion Lightning Lane. But again, that was fine. I wasn't even that worried about it. So we went straight. We took some pictures. Oh, what is the first thing we did?
We saw Mickey.
Amelia had never got to see Mickey because when we went back in March, Mickey was not doing visitors at his town square office. But this time he was. And so I knew I wanted to do it. She was a little nervous, weren't you?
Yeah.
I thought if I let her think about meeting Mickey too much, we're never going to meet him. So we walked into Magic Kingdom. We're like so happy. I love just the music, everything. I love everything about it. And I saw there was a 5-minute wait to meet Mickey at the Town Square Theater. And we went straight in. I was like, we are doing this right now. And there was a little bit of a line. It pretty much just went straight through. I think we waited maybe 10 minutes. So what did you think when you met Mickey for the first time?
I was very excited.
He was cute, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
So the PhotoPass photographers are not doing pictures with him, so we had to do a selfie with him. I took a picture of Mickey and Amelia together, and then we did a selfie, and we left. And we were ready to go at this point, weren't we?
Yeah.
We walked down Main Street. We didn't stop and take any PhotoPass pictures. The park was really, really busy. Like, I was pretty shocked at the crowds. I guess everyone is just out traveling, ready to go. So we went straight back to Pinocchio's Village House. We walked up and I put that we were there. Okay. So I forgot to mention, but at 1:13, when I guess where were we at 1:13? We were waiting for the bus, or we were in our room, something like that. At 1:13, I went ahead and made my third Lightning Lane reservation for the day for It's a Small World at 2:35. I knew we were eating at Pinocchio's sometime between 2 and 2:30, and our window for It's a Small World was 2:35 to, I think you get an hour, so it's like 3:35, so I knew we were going to be able to make that one. So that's the great thing about Genie Plus, is you can have 3 rides geared up, ready to go before you've even ridden a ride. So after we walked down Main Street, saw the castle, we were all, yay, we're at Disney. We went to Pinocchio's Village House, got our food. I think we waited 10 minutes for them to cook our food. So something different from when we were there at March. I had clicked, we're here ready for our food when we were still on Main Street. By the time we got there, I had showed them, yes, I clicked, we're here, they're preparing our food. They let us in the restaurant, whereas in March, you had to wait till your food was ready to get into a restaurant. So we went in the restaurant, we got a table where we could overlook It's a Small World and see the boats go by, which was super fun. I think we waited another 10 minutes for our food to be ready. I picked it up and we got 1 cheese pizza and a water, I'm pretty sure. Is that what we got?
Yeah, we got a water.
What'd you think about the pizza?
It was very, very good.
It was so good. I have heard mixed reviews about this place, but the cheese pizza was absolutely amazing. And I don't know if it's because we were really hungry at this point or what, but it was so good, wasn't it? So after we got done eating, we walked over to It's a Small World. It had a 30-minute standby, and we only waited 5 minutes with Lightning Lane. This was Amelia's first time on It's a Small World. What'd you think?
It was cool and stuff, but I was a little confused when they said it in different languages because I just think it's said the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you like all the animatronics?
Yeah, it smelled like a grandma's house, though.
It did have that old smell. It is an old ride. But you said you liked the smell.
I kind of did.
We kind of sat a couple of times. The ride stopped, and so we sat for a little bit and, listened to the song over and over like 1,000 times. So right after we checked into It's a Small World, I went ahead and booked our next Lightning Lane for Teacup. So after It's a Small World, we just as we were walking over to the teacups for our lightning lane, we decided to stop at Mickey's Fill Her Magic. I've never done this. Amelia had never done this. I had heard there was a new scene, that the graphics had been updated. So we decided to go do that. We waited about 10 minutes for the next show. We absolutely loved this, didn't we?
It was really, really funny.
It was so funny. It was so much fun to watch. I cannot believe I've never done this. What was your favorite part?
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
I don't really have a favorite part. I kind of like all of it, but I really like the part where Donald's flew into the wall.
Yeah, that was so funny at the end when he flies into the wall. We love Donald. We're big Donald fans, so this show was so great. We absolutely loved it. We walked straight over to the teacups, and there was only a 5-minute wait, it said, but we walked straight onto the ride with the lightning lane. What'd you think about the teacups?
They were really fun, and I made Mommy spin so fast.
Yes, like teacups after you eat is a questionable decision.
But it's really fun.
It was really fun. So at this point, we were kind of like, what are we going to do? We looked at wait times. I had grabbed us a lightning lane for Dumbo, but we had some time in between teacups and our Dumbo lightning lane. So we went and did the Carousel of Progress because this is one of Amelia's favorite rides or attractions.
And I figured out the last time we went in March that Walt Disney predicted the VR.
So we waited like 5 minutes to get on to the next show. Now something kind of crazy happened on this ride. What happened?
Oh, yeah. Someone left and we had to listen to the second one again.
So when you get onto the Carousel of Progress, they tell you this is, I think it's like 25 minutes. It's a 25-minute show. So they kind of give you the option to get off right away if you want, like if you weren't sure what you were getting yourself into. And they're like, do not leave during the show. Well, someone in one of the little show areas, they left in the middle of the show. And so the ride stopped, and it was right at the end of one of the scenes. Was it the second scene or the third scene?
It was the second one.
So it was right at the end of the second scene. We were like about to move on to the third, and they turn off the lights and they come on the speaker and they say, someone has left, the ride has to reset. So we had to watch that whole scene again, which was so frustrating.
It felt really fast that time though.
Yeah, it was fine. And this was a nice walking break, kind of a chance to just relax and just kind of be in the moment. But I have to say, people need to be more respectful of others anywhere in life, but especially at Disney when people are on vacation. Because those people decided to get off the ride early for whatever reason, we had, everyone on there was stuck. And there was a family that was in our group who's had like a crying child. They were having a really hard time with their kid, trying to get him to pay attention. And so I literally heard them sigh out loud. They were so upset. So people just need to be more just respectful of others. But it was fine. We sat in the very front row. Like there were these 2 chairs just in the very, very front. And that's where Amelia wanted to sit. She always loves to sit in the front. That was really fun. I've never sat in the front before. We were super close to everything. And we love that show. We sing along to the song. Like it's just great, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So after the Carousel of Progress, we stopped at Star Traders and we did some shopping, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did you get?
I got some new meal clothes. I got a hat. I got a lot of stuff.
A cute tie-dye bucket hat, and you got your very first ever Spirit jersey. She had been wanting a Spirit jersey, but most of the little shops and stores we went in only had adult sizes. And so we found a kid one, and it was like a blush pink, and on the back had in gold letters Walt Disney World, and it looked really cute with her bucket hat. So once we left there, we put her long sleeve shirt on and we put her bucket hat on, and she was ready to go, weren't she?
Mm-hmm.
So after we got done shopping, we went over to Dumbo. Dumbo had a 30-minute standby wait, and we waited 10 minutes in the lightning lane, and we just love Dumbo. Dumbo's a favorite of ours, isn't it?
Yeah.
So after we checked into Dumbo, it was time for our Jungle Cruise lightning lane. And the last time we were at Disney in March of 2021, we did not even go to Adventureland, which I don't even know what happened on that trip that we never went to Adventureland, but we didn't. So this was Amelia's first time to go into Adventureland, which was super fun. Like, I love Adventureland. And this was also her first time to go on the Jungle Cruise. So on the way to the Jungle Cruise, we stopped at Storybook Treats, and we got the special 50th anniversary Snow White ice cream. I got the Snow White ice cream cone, which is like a lemon Dole Whip with a little like chocolate bluebird on it. And Amelia got, was it Grunt? No, it was Dog. Yeah. So they have a Seven Dwarfs themed like ice cream cone, and it changes. Like it's not always the same dwarf. She got Dog. It was a chocolate and vanilla swirl. What'd you think about it?
It was really, really good, but it was really big. So when my mom went in the Haunted Mansion store, I had to wait outside while I was eating my ice cream.
Yeah, it was a pretty big ice cream. So I haven't mentioned yet, but mask rules at Disney right now are if you are indoors, you have to be wearing a mask. So I ate my ice cream pretty quick. Mine was not as big as Amelia's. Hers was huge. Mine was like kind of smaller, honestly, the perfect size for me. And so I ate my ice cream on our way over to Adventureland. You're right. I forgot about this, but I did stop at the Memento Mori, the Haunted Mansion gift shop. That was we also went to the Tangled bathrooms. Mm-hmm. So we had made a list of must-dos that we really wanted to get done at the park. And going to the Tangled bathrooms and stopping in this gift shop were on our list. So I was like, we're kind of going that way. So let's just take the longer route and go ahead and get these things done. The Tangled bathrooms were really cool, weren't they?
Yeah.
You did think it was weird. I got so excited about bathrooms.
I mean, it's kind of weird for someone to get so excited of just bathrooms.
Well, sometimes Disney's fans are a little bit interesting. So I did go in the gift shop. I love Haunted Mansion. It is one of my absolute favorite rides. I bought a cute little Skyliner with the Haunted Mansion, like a little, something you can put on your desk like a display. I wanted to put it in my office. And yes, Amelia did wait outside for me while I shopped. So after we shopped there, I kind of had to show her how to eat her ice cream because it was getting very melty at this point, right? So we decided to cut through Liberty Square. And then to get over to Adventureland. So we walked through Liberty Square. This is one of my favorite parts of Magic Kingdom. It is just the music, the buildings, like it's so pretty. I just absolutely love it. Cut over to Adventureland, got to Jungle Cruise. As always, Jungle Cruise had a crazy long wait. It was a 70-minute standby wait, but with Lightning Lane, we got on in 9 minutes.
And we also saw a YouTuber.
Oh, yes. We saw a few YouTubers while we were there.
Yeah. We saw one at Jungle Cruise when we went to Epcot. That's all I really remember. I feel like we saw one at Dumbo.
Yeah, I think we saw. Oh, yeah. No, It's a Small World had a YouTuber on.
Yeah.
They were sitting right in front of us. Okay, so Jungle Cruise is another one of my favorite Magic Kingdom rides. What did you think about Jungle Cruise?
It was really silly.
So silly. We had a great captain. Do you remember her name?
No, but I remember when she said, if you did enjoy this, my name's Bruno.
Yeah, she was so funny. And this was the first time Amelia got to see the 8th wonder of the world.
The backside of water!
So we had a great time. We had a great boat ride. Our skipper was so hilarious. After we got off the Jungle Cruise, we went over to the Magic Carpets. I had checked Lightning Lanes, so we had a dinner reservation So we had a dinner reservation at Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge at 6:50. So we weren't going to be in Magic Kingdom a lot longer at this point. So I checked lightning lanes. They were all kind of late. There weren't any that we could have grabbed at that point. But Magic Carpets was right there. It had a 20-minute standby. We had time. It looked really fun. Amelia had never rode it. She really wanted to ride it. So we stood in line for that. And we waited 20 minutes, but it felt fast, didn't it?
It felt really fast.
We got on that. It was fun. Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. It went faster than Dumbo.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. Like, it feels like you're really flying. So we left Adventureland. We went down Main Street. We stopped in the Emporium. That store is absolutely humongous. So much fun to walk through. What did we buy there?
We bought my magnetic orange bird.
And
we bought a Pluto wishable.
So Amelia had seen a couple of people who had wishables, and she was like, I want one of those. So we stopped and we got her those two things. As we were leaving, we took some pictures. We saw the princesses up above at the train station. The princesses were there waving and talking to everyone. So we waved and we talked to them. We also, is this when we got our popcorn bucket? We stopped at that popcorn stand right there and got a 50th anniversary, just regular bucket. They had the cute Mickey, but I was kind of worried about the size of that Mickey and taking it home. And so I just got the regular popcorn bucket. Plus I love these. I can just unsnap the handle, hang it onto my backpack, and it's not even a big deal to carry. And popcorn is a snack that we love. And I love buying the refills and just kind of having it whenever we need a quick snack, if it's later in the room or walking through the parks, to just kind of always have that good snack with us. So we left the park and we went and got on the bus to ride to Wilderness Lodge at about 6 p.m. I think we might have waited 10 minutes for the boat. There weren't a lot of people waiting, so we got a good seat. Amelia wanted to sit in the very back on the outside. So we did, and I got some beautiful pictures of Magic Kingdom leaving, and that was a really nice boat ride. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
So this was the first time we'd ever been to the Wilderness Lodge. We were really excited about it. Once we got there, we kind of walked around outside a little bit. It was getting a little bit chilly, wasn't it?
A little bit.
We checked out the pool. We went inside. We were walking over to the gift shop. We were still pretty early for our reservation. And outside the gift shop, there was a man drawing caricatures. And Amelia had been really wanting to do caricature. We hadn't had time while we were in Magic Kingdom. So I thought, well, we have time now. So why don't we just go ahead and do it? So what did you ask him to draw you?
I asked him to draw me as Orange Bird.
Yes. And okay, so here's the crazy thing. This man lives in Florida. He was super nice, I want to add. He had no idea who Orange Bird was.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, we were like, what? He's like, is this a new character? It was absolutely funny. So we showed him her little magnetic Orange Bird guy, and we were like, this is what he looks like. And he's like, okay. And so then he looked at pictures online of like cartoon versions of him, and he drew her with her head on Orange Bird's body. And then he drew, did he draw the castle?
Yeah, he drew the castle. He drew like the little Epcot ball.
Mm-hmm. Spaceship Earth. It was super cute. Did you like the finished product?
Yeah.
It was funny too because people were walking by and looking at it. And she wasn't able to see it because, you know, she's sitting in the chair. And it was just funny. Like, that was a fun experience.
He also said if I looked at it, then I'd have a mustache. So when he went to like get more water, I looked at it, and another person said we made sure not to let her look at it.
Yeah, it was funny. She was like, I really want to look at it. And so she took a little peek, but it was super cute.
Yeah.
So after we got done with the picture, I checked into our dinner reservation. Our dinner reservation was at 6:50. I checked in at 6:52 because the picture took a little bit longer than we had planned, but it's no big deal. We sat by the fireplace in the rocking chairs while we waited. And I think we kind of waited a while, maybe 15, 20 minutes for them to call us back. And then they did. And we walked into Artist Point. What'd you think when you walked into that restaurant?
It smelled really good.
Yeah, it was a beautiful restaurant. The trees and the lights hanging down. And when we got there, all the characters, or Snow White and the dwarves, were out singing and dancing. And so that was kind of fun. So because we were at a table of 2, they put us at some windows, which we had a beautiful outside view. But there was like this big pillar blocking our way to the characters. But that was fine. Also at this restaurant, they have this like tree Lazy Susan in the middle of your table, which it is so pretty and it's super cute. And when they bring you out your food, they stick it on this. It's like 3 tiers. They stick it on there. But at a table for 2, this thing took up almost the entire table. Like it was huge. And I couldn't even hardly see Amelia over it, which was kind of weird, but it looked much better on the bigger tables. I almost feel like if someone is sitting at a 2-person table, they kind of don't need it, but it was cute and it was pretty and it went with the theming of the restaurant. So this restaurant is a set price. It's $69 for adults. I think it was $39 for kids. And you get to kind of choose from a few things. They bring you all the appetizers. So the appetizer menu had a wild mushroom bisque, a wicked shrimp cocktail, and a hunter's pie. I loved the mushroom bisque. They actually brought out 2 of each of these to our table, which I'm not sure why, because I was the only adult there. And I had noticed on other tables of 2, they only brought out 1, but that was fine. The wild mushroom bisque was absolutely delicious. I ate both of them pretty quickly. The wicked shrimp cocktail was good. The shrimp kind of had this weird taste. I'm not really sure why. I don't know. It was good though. I ate it, no problem. The hunter's pie I did not like. It was like a meatball on a like crispy bread type of thing. It was totally cold. Like it was gross. It was cold. And I will add the mushroom bisque was kind of cold too. It definitely was not hot. So I was a little bit bummed about that, but it was fine. I still liked it. And Amelia got this really, really cute like tray, and it had what did it have? What did it look like? Your appetizer.
So it was like a flower pot, and it had like fruit in it. It also had like grapes with like dirt around it.
And had carrot sticks and celery sticks sticking out of it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
What was the dirt?
It was like sugar powder, and I really liked it.
It was like cookie crumble sugar powder. Yeah. It was really, really cute. And then you had some cheese?
Yeah, that was really nice.
It was good. And there was some honey butter. Was there a roll or a biscuit?
Yeah, there was like a biscuit. The honey butter and the biscuit were like amazing.
Yeah, she loved her appetizer, and it was so, so cute. I wish I could have gotten a better picture of it, but again, we had this giant tree Lazy Susan in the middle that I could really not see her side super well, but her appetizer was so cute, and she loved it. Then for dinner, I got a stroll through nature, which was asparagus leeks, arugula, gnocchi, sage, parmesan. This was not good at all. I was really, really bummed. It was cold again. It just did not taste good. I ate about half of it just because I was hungry and I knew I needed to eat something, but I did not like this at all. The flavor was just not great. The sauce that was on it was not great. The gnocchi was cooked well, but yeah, it was not a good choice. I wish I would have gotten something else. And Amelia got the grilled chicken with mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. She did not eat a bite of her chicken, but what'd you think about the mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese?
The mashed potatoes were really good. The mac and cheese was okay. It wasn't really the best, but...
Yeah, the food was so disappointing. I was so excited to go to this restaurant. They had announced, I think it was like the end of November, beginning of December, that this restaurant was going to be reopening. I actually woke up early to get this dining reservation myself. Becky had said she would do it, but I was like, I want to try to do it. I've never gotten my own dining reservation. And I was so excited about this restaurant. And the food was so disappointing. Like, oh, it still makes me bummed out thinking about it. So they brought out our dessert, which was something called a miner's treasure. It was a cookies and cream panna cotta, and then the fairy tale gooseberry tart, which was like a little pie with gooseberry filling and meringue topping, and then the poison apple, which was this cute little apple, and it was a dark chocolate apple mousse with a sour center. And so what'd you think about those desserts?
I didn't really try the apple because I don't like dark chocolate. But the little Jell-O thing,
the miner's treasure.
Yeah, that was really good. It had like a little chocolate fondant, like
it was a dwarf hat.
Yeah, and the icing was really nice. I didn't really try the Jell-O. Because I don't think Jell-O and icing wouldn't really go good together. And also there was like cake on the bottom, like green cake for like grass, and I ate that also.
So the miner's treasure was okay. It was such a weird texture. I ate some of it. I didn't love it. I didn't love the cookies and cream flavor. I don't know. It was weird. The gooseberry tart, I did not like at all. Like, I took one bite of that and was completely grossed out by it. I usually love fruit type desserts. This one I just did not like. The poison apple was good. It was super cute. And I like that. I actually ate, I think, both of them. And then they bring to your table the Hunter's Gift to the Queen, which is this box, and they open it up and it has like dry ice smoke that comes out, and you each get like a little chocolate truffle. Those are really good. We ate those. We both like those. And I had forgot to add that I got one of their specialty drinks. I got the Enchanted Apple, and I just feel so bad talking bad about this restaurant, but that drink was awful. I don't know why. I had heard such great things about it. It just was not good. I did not like it. I did drink it because it was a small drink. It wasn't big. And it had a beautiful presentation. I liked the sugar around the rim, but the flavor of it just was not great. Okay, so let's talk about the best part of this restaurant, which was the characters. The character experience at this restaurant is so great, and it really made the whole experience fun for us because we didn't like the food a whole lot. I mean, Amelia liked her food, but I did not like my food. So having the characters there kind of kept our spirits up. So first, who came out first?
The dwarves, Grumpy and Dopey.
They were so funny, weren't they?
Uh-huh.
So when the characters are about to come out, they flicker the lights on the trees inside the restaurant. The restaurant is gorgeous. Like, it's so pretty. So they flicker the lights, and the lights turn a different color based on the character. And then they play the music, and they come out, and they walk through, and they march, and they wave at everyone. And then they do a modified character experience where they walk through and kind of give attention to each table from far off. And you can kind of stand with them in the background and get their picture taken. So what do you think about the characters?
They're really cute.
They were so cute. Grumpy was so cute. I loved him.
Uh-huh.
But who was your favorite out of all the characters?
I think Dopey, because he was the happiest.
Dopey was super cute too. My favorite was the Evil Queen.
Oh, I forgot about the Evil Queen, yeah.
She was hilarious. She comes out, and the way she talks to the kids is so funny.
Like, there's this little girl wearing a Snow White outfit, and she was like, "What are you wearing?"
Oh, yeah. And what'd she say to you? So Amelia had her bucket hat on.
She was like, "That's an interesting crown."
She was so funny. There was this little boy who was sleeping or like hiding his face. And she was like, "What are you doing?" It was funny.
And then there's this other girl next to us, and she was like, "I'm on the evil side."
Oh, yeah. The queen liked that. She was great. Like, oh, that was so much fun. I loved seeing her. And then Snow White comes out, and she's cute and bubbly and smiley, and she was really sweet. And I think she said she liked your hat.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Like the character experience, the ambiance of the restaurant, just the way it looked, it was beautiful. It's just the food is not great. I don't think I would ever go back there. I don't know. It'd have to change a lot for me to ever go back, but it was fun. And it was so much fun going to Wilderness Lodge and seeing that resort. So I had originally planned for us to go see Harmonious after dinner. This was our travel day. So it was like 8 o'clock at this point. I figured we would have time to catch a bus over to Epcot to see it. But me and Amelia had kind of talked and we were like, we'll just go see it another night. Hindsight, I really wish we would have gone and seen it because the night we saw it, it was raining and freezing cold. And this was a beautiful evening. It was a little bit cool, but it was really nice outside. But anyway, so we go out to the bus. Well, we stopped in the gift shop at Wilderness Lodge and shopped a little bit. And then we went out to where the buses are. I had looked at the bus times on the TV they had there, and it said that a Disney Springs bus was actually pretty close. So one of the great things about Port Orleans Riverside is they have boat service from Disney Springs to the resort. And Amelia was like, had so much energy. Like you were going.
Yeah.
So we decided to get on the Disney Springs bus and walk through Disney Springs and then take the boat over to our resort. So we got to Disney Springs, and what did you want to do?
I wanted to go to the World at Disney.
She wanted to go do a little bit more shopping. So I was like so tired, and she's like ready to go. It was so funny.
And I was like following the map, and I was being the GPS.
Yep. So I gave her the phone, and she took us straight to the World of Disney. We went in, we did some shopping. Did we buy anything? Yeah, we bought some stuff.
Yeah, we bought Papa that shirt.
We bought my mom a shirt. I think that's when I bought the puzzle, the 50th anniversary puzzle. We bought a couple things, and we left. We didn't go to any more stores, did we? So we walked over. I looked to where the boat was going to be. There are 2 boat docks. We did not go to the one by the boathouse. We went to the other one. I don't know the name of it, but we walked over there. I think we waited like maybe 5 minutes for a boat. There was kind of a long line of people waiting for boats. I was a little bit worried that we weren't going to get on the boat, but these boats are much bigger than I thought. We all got on the boat, and that was such a nice ride, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was dark outside. I had never realized how close Saratoga Springs was to Disney Springs. So riding past that resort and kind of seeing it was really fun. It was cold though, wasn't it?
It was really cold.
It was really cold on the boat, but we loved it. We had a great time. The boat first stopped at French Quarter, Port Orleans French Quarter, and their pool is right on the water. So we kind of got to see that, which was cool. And then we rode over to our resort. The boat dropped us off. It was like a maybe 6-minute walk back to our room. It wasn't too far. We got to the room. We kind of dropped off. Oh, what happened when we got back to our room?
Oh, my dad ordered this thing. It's like a special like treat or something. And when we came to like our room, we left our windows open, and I was like, I see it. So
my husband Cameron had made special arrangements for us to have some goodies for us left in our room on our first night. So we had a red and yellow like cooler bag that was embroidered. It said the Kirchhoff family, and inside the bag was some caramel popcorn, a Mickey Rice Krispie treat. It had a lanyard with some pins on it. It was a Mickey hat with my name embroidered on it, which I've always wanted one of those, so I was super excited. And then Amelia had a bag, like a pink princess bag. It had like the castle on it in silver. And what was in your bag?
I got a Rapunzel doll, and I could brush the hair. We both got like mini jelly beans. I also got like a door hanger. I forgot what it said, but it said like 2 things on both sides.
It said like dreams come true.
Yeah. And then I got this cool like crown with a note that said like I'm a princess or something.
So you got a royal decree. It was like in this folded leather bound thing, and it said that by royal decree you are officially a princess, and it was signed by Rapunzel, and you got a beautiful little princess crown. Mm-hmm. Which you were so excited about that.
I really was.
Yes. We also got a photo album book that said Walt Disney 50th anniversary on it. And then I also got a book to read that had hidden secrets at Walt Disney World. It was so exciting. We were so excited. We FaceTimed Dad and showed him all our goodies. And then we called it a night. We got in bed and went to sleep because next day we had a very exciting day, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So for Christmas, my husband had surprised us with a VIP tour for our trip. I was completely shocked and blown away. I could not believe he did that. I was so super excited to go on this. So Becky had scheduled it for Thursday of our trip. I'm going to do a whole nother episode about the VIP tour because there's so many things about it that it kind of deserves its own episode. But that our Thursday was an absolutely amazing day, wasn't it?
It really was.
So we woke up really early. I woke up at 6 to get ready because we had a breakfast reservation at Cinderella's royal table at 8:40. I woke up at 6. I could hardly actually sleep the night before because I was so excited about this VIP tour. I was up at 6. I got dressed. So I got Amelia up at 7. She was pretty tired, but we were both really excited. I kind of just like literally stood her up. She was super sleepy, and I just got her dressed. Like she was just standing there, and I'm like, we're just going to get dressed. I got her ready to go. I packed up our bags to go to the parks. We left the room at 7:30. We went and got on a bus, and we were at Magic Kingdom by 8 o'clock. We didn't wait long for the bus. We went to the East Depot. I think we maybe waited 5 minutes. There weren't a ton of people there. Got right onto the bus. Got to Magic Kingdom. Walked in. The park hadn't really opened yet. They let us in. People were lining up to get over to the different lands. They were lining up in Tomorrowland and in Fantasyland for when the early morning entry opened at 8:30 so they could get back there. We walked around and took pictures in front of the castle. Amelia took pictures of some of the 50th anniversary statues. There was literally nobody there. We got such great pictures of the castle with like nobody in front of it. That was really fun. We went and checked into our breakfast at like 8:20. It was kind of early. They let us go back to Cinderella's castle walking. So we went over to, it's kind of like on the way to Adventureland. There's like a little check-in point over there. So that's where we checked in, and we got to kind of walk back past Liberty Square over to the castle, kind of in front of Sleepy Hollow. There was nobody there because they hadn't let anyone back yet. This was so magical. Like it just felt really special walking back there with nobody there, seeing the side of the castle with no one there, walking to the back, like on the back side of the castle to get to the restaurant and seeing Fantasyland with nobody there. That was really fun. We checked into our meal. They sat us early. They let us go in at 8:30. Neither of us had ever been to Cinderella's royal table before. What did you think walking into the castle?
It felt really magical.
It was so beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We decided to go on the stairs instead of the elevator. What were the stairs like?
They're like spiral stairs.
And it was kind of small. We walked up. We had a pretty good table. They sat us. It was like a booth. Like you sat on the booth side and I sat in a chair. We had a really nice waitress, and the food was meh.
Mine was good because it was just Mickey waffles,
So we opted for breakfast for this meal because I had heard the dinner wasn't great and that the breakfast was like, okay. I was not expecting the food to be good here. Like, I really expected the food to be good at Artist Point, and that's why I was disappointed. I really wasn't expecting the food to be good here. We kind of ate here mainly so we could go inside the castle and see it. It was $42 for an adult, $27 a child. They brought us out like a plate of pastries, and those were really good. It was like a chocolate croissant and a biscuit. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It had really good butter choices, like flavored butters and jams. I got a mimosa. It was really good. It was a good mimosa. I also got some coffee. And then I just ordered the traditional breakfast. It had scrambled eggs, sausage, bacon, and potatoes. And Amelia got the Mickey-shaped waffle with breakfast potatoes. Again, my food was okay. The bacon and sausage was really good. The potatoes, they were like so small. They didn't even taste like they chopped them so small. They didn't even really taste like potatoes. And the eggs like were not good. It was almost like powdered eggs. I don't know. They weren't great, but I did like the bacon and sausage. Amelia liked her waffles because you really can't go wrong with Mickey waffles. Did you like the potatoes?
They're fine.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Cinderella came out and she stood and she was really sweet and we got to take pictures with her, which we liked. Breakfast was very fast. We finished really fast. Like, I'm thinking we were done by 9, maybe like 9:15. So after breakfast, we walked over to the People Mover. There was no wait. I'd noticed on I checked the wait times, and we had been wanting to do People Mover. We were super excited to do it. It's one of my favorite rides. And so we walked over there. We walked right on, got right on the People Mover, and it did not disappoint. It was so fun. What'd you think about it?
It was really fun. It was like a relaxing ride. And I was probably going to do Space Mountain, but since, the ride goes into Space Mountain, I saw how like dark it was and like how it felt, so I didn't go on the ride.
Yeah, she changed her mind about Space Mountain after going on the People Mover, which was fine. I told her I wasn't going to make her go on any ride she didn't want to, but the People Mover was super fun. After that, we went over to Haunted Mansion because it only had a 10-minute wait. And so we got in line for that. And I think we waited about 10 minutes. It felt pretty quick. Like, the line never really stopped. And I think most of the time just kind of is in the stretching room and just walking back to it. I love the Haunted Mansion. Like I said, it's one of my absolute favorite rides. But we got stuck on this ride, and that was really weird. We got stuck in the part where Madame Leota is talking with her head floating in the ball for like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
It was kind of weird because when, I first, was like, wait, why did we stop? Because I didn't notice, the ride stopped, and I was like, she's repeating the theme over and over again.
Yeah, because it's really dark, so it takes a while before you notice you're not really doing anything.
Yeah.
So we sat there for like 10 minutes, then it started going again, and it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
So while we were stuck on Haunted Mansion sitting there, I went ahead and grabbed a lightning lane for us for Voyage of the Little Mermaid at $9.50. So after Haunted Mansion, we walked over there. Before we got on the ride, there was a PhotoPass photographer over there. So we stopped and got some pictures, and we have a super cute picture with Amelia holding who?
I held Sebastian.
That's so cute. And those pictures were really nice. The lighting was really good and some really cute pictures of us. Those are some of my favorite pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So we got on Voyage of the Little Mermaid. It was a walk-on. We didn't even wait at all. We just walked straight on with our lightning lane. I think the standby was 10 minutes. I love that ride. It's so cute. It's a fun ride.
It was really fun.
What was your favorite scene?
I think the under the sea part.
Mm-hmm. It's cute.
Yeah.
After that ride, it was time to go meet our VIP tour. So we stopped and Belle was outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so we took some pictures with Belle. And then we went over and met our VIP tour guide. She was waiting for us at Cinderella's Castle. And again, we will talk more about the logistics of that in a different episode, just for dedicated for the VIP tour portion of our day. So after we were done with our VIP tour, she dropped us off back at Magic Kingdom. And because we had a dessert party that evening. So after she checked us in, we rode one more ride with her. And then we decided we didn't really eat lunch that day. We kind of just snacked. And so I knew we had a dessert party that evening. So I knew we needed to eat some real food, because if all we ate were desserts, we probably weren't going to feel really good. So I was like, we loved the pizza at Pinocchio. We were kind of over in that area anyway. So I was like, I'm just going to do a quick mobile order for pizza. So I mobile ordered us pizza, 1 cheese pizza, 1 water. We got another table right by It's a Small World. This time we waited a little bit longer. It was a little bit more crowded because it was dinner time on a Thursday. And so we waited, I think 25 minutes for our pizza. We were kind of on a time crunch because everything I had heard about the dessert party was the sooner you check in, the sooner you get to eat your desserts, the sooner you get over to pick a spot on the hub grass in their reserved section for the fireworks. And that is really important. The main reason I even did the dessert party was so that we could have this reserved seating for the fireworks. And so I wanted to make sure we got a good spot. Amelia had never seen Disney fireworks before, so this was very important. And this was our first time to see the new shows. So we ate our pizza very fast.
Yeah.
It was burning hot and we were scarfing it down, weren't we?
Yeah. It was still good though.
Yeah, this pizza's so good. We loved it. It was great experience here. So after we ate, we literally ran over to the Tomorrowland Terrace, because that's where you check in for the dessert party. There was a line to check in. So we checked into the dessert party at 6:15. They take you to a little reserved table and they show you where all the desserts are. And they have alcoholic beverages for adults, and then regular pog juice. They had lemonade, tea and coffee and water and milk for the non-alcoholic drinks. So yeah, we sat down in the Tomorrowland Terrace. The weather was so nice. It was cool and clear skies. It was so much fun. I loved the dessert party. I got a couple glasses of champagne. Amelia tried the pog juice. She didn't love it, and so she drank water. But we loved the desserts, didn't we? Which one was your favorite?
My favorite was the push pop. It was, had vanilla cake inside, and I had 3 of those. They were so good.
I thought you had 5. You had a lot.
I did have a lot.
She kept going back for more. She was so cute. She would just go back up to the buffet all by herself and just get whatever she wanted. They had chocolate mousse. They had chocolate covered strawberries. It was a lot of chocolate desserts.
Yeah.
They had truffles.
They had chocolate pudding, which was delicious, with velvet cake on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That was delicious.
They had an assortment of cheeses. They had donuts with different dipping sauces. A chocolate silk pie. But it was good. We really enjoyed it. I had heard mixed reviews about it, but we really liked it.
Yeah.
So at around 7 p.m., we left the dessert party, and the dessert party was packed. And they were telling people to not leave. So fireworks started at 8, and when they sat your table, they said, we recommend that you leave around 7:45 to go see the fireworks. But I knew if we wanted a good spot, we had to leave sooner. Even though you are in a reserved section, I wanted to be in the very front of that reserved section. So they have an escort. So you go back up to the front desk and you tell them, I'm ready to go to the fireworks section, and they escort you over there. So they walked us over it was already filling up a little bit in there, but we got a great front row spot. We actually laid in the hub grass and just relaxed. Like, we used our backpacks for pillows. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we waited a whole hour there, but we were so exhausted from our day, from our VIP tour, that it felt really nice to just relax, to not do anything and just wait for the fireworks. So once the fireworks start, they have these little pathways that are concrete that go through the grass parts. And they tell you do not sit on the concrete areas, because there's also right in front of us, there was a like handicap reserve section. And so people would come through there on their scooters or their wheelchairs. And so they had to keep those walkways open. Well, about 10 minutes before the fireworks, they were like, okay, everyone stand up who's sitting down and let's fill in every spot. You can even go on the sidewalks. So we walked straight forward to where the gate was. So we were the very first people in our section, like in the very front row. Did you sit on the gate?
Yeah, I sat on the gate and I put my bubble machine on the grass.
Oh, yes, she got a bubble machine that day. So there wasn't a lot of people in front of us. We had a great view of the castle. Oh my gosh. These fireworks were amazing. What'd you think about them?
They were really beautiful. And it was like really cool. And I noticed it was kind of weird on the fireworks. They actually made the noise after they bursted.
Yeah, they would like burst and then you'd hear the boom.
Yeah.
The projections on the castle were so pretty. I loved the music. It was your first time seeing Tinkerbell fly from the castle. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And since we were kind of over on the side, she was like right close to us. Like she almost flew over us, kind of. It was just amazing. I absolutely loved this fireworks show. I know it's getting some mixed reviews. I loved it. I thought it was magical. Seeing it with Amelia, knowing it was her first time, was so magical. It kind of made me feel a little bit emotional. It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So while we were laying there on the hub grass, I went ahead and checked the lightning lanes for the day, and I had grabbed us a lightning lane for Pirates for, I think, like 8:40.
Yeah.
So I had asked some people sitting around us, I was like, you know, we're not super familiar with Disney fireworks. How long do the shows usually last? And they said they're 30 minutes. So I knew, okay, great. We'll be able to get there by 8:40. So we get over to Pirates. I think there was maybe a 5-minute standby wait. We walked right on. This was your first time riding Pirates. What'd you think?
It was really cool. And I kind of didn't understand the first part and the boat part. That was kind of meh. But I really liked the songs, and yeah.
It was fun. And I said, make sure you pull down your mask and smell the water. It smelled good, didn't it?
Yeah, it smelled really good.
Oh, it smells so good. So after Pirates, we checked wait times. I couldn't grab any more lightning lanes at this point. We walked over to Big Thunder Mountain. That line was crazy long. Like, we had already rode it that day. But so we're standing there waiting. It said it was a 30-minute wait. The line stretched out of the queue, or the official start of the line. And we sit there for like 5 minutes. I had looked at some other wait times. And one of the rides we wanted to do that we hadn't gotten a chance to is Astro Orbiter. I love riding Astro Orbiter at night. That line always has a really long wait, but it said 25 minutes. At this point, it was like 8:50, so it was 10 minutes till park closed. So I looked at Amelia and I said, we can either do Big Thunder again, or we can run over and get in line for Astro Orbiter. What do you want to do?
I wanted to do Astro Orbiter.
So we ran across the park to get there, and I think we got there at like 8:55. It was pretty close to when they were going to close the line, and there's no joke. At 9 o'clock, those lines are closed. Like, I don't even know where the people come from to close the lines, but they close them and you cannot get in line after 9 o'clock. So we waited 25 minutes. We got to ride it. It was fun. I love that ride.
Yeah.
It went really fast, didn't it?
It did.
I felt like we were zooming. I was kind of a little bit scared. Like, she went all the way up, and I was like, okay, let's go down a little bit.
I wanted to go as high as I could.
But that was fun. We got off that ride. All the rides had closed. We walked out. You had your bubble on, so you were doing bubbles. We walked out. We took some pictures in front of the castle at night. What else did we do? We just kind of walked out. I don't think we did any shopping, did we?
No.
Did we get any snacks? Oh, no, all the food, everything was closed. The only thing open was the ice cream cart or the popcorn cart as you left. We took some more pictures. We kind of just walked out slowly. We walk over to the bus. This was probably at like 9:20. The line for the bus was very long. Like so long. There were a lot of scooters. A bus had just like got done picking people up. So I thought, okay, we're at least going to have to wait till the second bus. I looked across the way and there was the French Quarter bus sitting there with not a single person in line and not a single person on the bus. And I said, okay, I have a crazy idea. Let's ride the French Quarter bus over to French Quarter and then walk over to Riverside. And Amelia's like, okay. So we go over there. We get on that bus. He leaves. We're the only people on the bus. Like if we would have waited for the Riverside bus, we would 100% been standing crammed on that bus. So we ride home. It was like such a nice ride. We were so comfortable, spread out. We get off at French Quarter. We walk through French Quarter. This was our first time seeing this resort. Like we'd saw it on the boat kind of, but our first time walking through it. It's so beautiful. That is such a cute resort. We walked to the very back of it. There's a walking path that connects these two resorts. It was such a nice night, like cool, just beautiful. There was another family that was walking over there. So we just walked over to Riverside, and where our room was, we were in one of the mansions. And so we were pretty close to French Quarter. So it wasn't a long walk, maybe a 10, 15-minute walk, and got to our room and crashed because we had the best day. It was a very, very long day, but it was amazing, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
So our next day was a Friday, and I woke up at 6:30. I wanted to kind of sleep in, but I knew, so this day we were going to be going to Hollywood Studios first, and then we were going to go over to Animal Kingdom at 2 to Park Hop. So I wanted to grab us a lightning lane for Flight of Passage. So I woke up at 6:30. I grabbed us. So when you're doing Genie Plus and the rides that you don't have to pay for, you don't get to choose the time for your arrival. You kind of just get the next time. If it's not a time that works for you, you can wait until later in the day because it just kind of goes in order of the day. So, but when you pay for the lightning lane, you get to choose your arrival time. So you can choose from any time that's available. So I chose 3:40 to 4:40 for our Flight of Passage because I knew 100% for sure that we would be at the park by then. And then I grabbed a Toy Story Mania lightning lane for an arrival time of between 9 and 10. And then I also went ahead and ordered us some food. So we were doing a brunch at Topolino's Terrace at 11:50, but I knew we were going to have to eat before then. So I grabbed a Ronto Roasters breakfast for me for a pickup at 8:45. And then I grabbed a Woody's Lunchbox breakfast for Amelia for a pickup time of 9:30. So I had all these plans. Like we were going to be ready to go. We had done Hollywood Studios on our VIP tour, so our goal for this day was kind of be to take it slow. We wanted to do Toy Story Mania again because we absolutely just love that ride. We wanted to do the Muppet Vision Show. We wanted to do Star Tours, and we wanted to do One Man's Dream. That's kind of all that we wanted to do there. I wanted to stop by the Tower of Terror gift shop. If we had time, that was just kind of, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's fine. So I went ahead and got up and got dressed. Hollywood Studios had the early morning magic time at 8:30. So I really just wanted to get there at 8:30 since we were going to be leaving at 11. We didn't have a ton of time. Even though we weren't doing a lot of stuff, I was like, I just want to get there so we can at least get done what we want to get done. I woke Amelia up around like 7:30, I think. She was not wanting to get up, were you?
No.
You were so tired. I was like, you have to get up. Like, you're going to have to power through. So we got dressed. We got to the buses around 8. I had checked the bus times on our phone. It said that a bus should be arriving, but a bus was not arriving. They kept pushing the time back. The bus station was getting very, very busy. I was even wondering if we were going to be able to get on a Hollywood Studio bus at this point, because come to find out, like, everyone at that depot was waiting for that bus. One came by that was totally full from the other depots. So I just broke down and downloaded the Uber app really quick, checked. It said an Uber driver could pick us up in 5 minutes. I said, perfect. We walked back to the mansion that our room was in, which was Oak Manor. And I ordered the Uber. He was there in like 6-7 minutes. He picked us up right in front of our, that area right there and drove us over to Hollywood Studios. We were there super fast, weren't we? Mm-hmm. That was so easy. And as we were leaving, I noticed a Hollywood Studios bus still hadn't even come. Those people were still there waiting. We got to Hollywood Studios at 8:20. We were in the park at like we just walked straight in. We were in the park at like 8:25. And what was the first thing we did?
We did Star Tours.
We walked over to Star Tours. It was a walk-on. Oh, I also want to add the Uber ride was only $8, so it was well worth it. So we get over there. We go to Star Tours. It was a walk-on. There was only one other family with us on Star Tours, which was interesting. I've never been on that ride like that. And who was the spy?
Me.
I told her, I said, I bet 100% you're going to be the rebel spy, because she was the only kid on the ride. And she was like, oh, no. And I don't know how they do it, but she was. That's a fun ride. I always like that ride. Did you like it?
Yeah.
After that, we walked over to Galaxy's Edge. We stopped at Ronto Roasters and got my breakfast. So after we got off Star Tours, I pulled up the My Disney Experience app and checked. I went to our meal and checked that I was there to pick it up. So by the time we actually got over to Ronto Roasters, it wasn't quite ready yet. So we went into that Doc Anders store right there. We walked through it. And then our food was ready, so we went over and I picked it up. I ordered the Rising Moon's overnight oats. I had got this last time and I absolutely loved it. Like, I just wanted a quick little breakfast since we were going to be eating a big brunch. I didn't want to fill up. I also got myself a coffee and I got her a drink. We got a table. We sat down. I ate that pretty quickly. We left there. We walked through all the little shops right there. We were looking for a souvenir for my son, Aiden, because he loves Star Wars, but we couldn't really find anything. Then we walked out to a drink cart, and my son, Asher, had been collecting the Coke product bottles in Galaxy's Edge, and on our last trip, he did not get a Diet Coke, so I got a Diet Coke for him. We are not a family who likes Diet Coke, but I took one for the team. I got a Diet Coke so he could have the bottle. And then we walked over, as we were walking to Toy Story Land, there was the PhotoPass place where they do the baby Yoda pictures. So we stopped and took some pictures there. Those are, again, some of my favorite pictures. They're so cute. I also want to add, we were wearing matching Mickey like Sherpa hats. And we got so many compliments on these hats. Just everywhere we went, people are like, I love your hat. Even the PhotoFest photographers were complimenting our hats. It was pretty cute. So we walked over to Toy Story Land. We went on Toy Story Mania for our lightning lane. The standby was 45 minutes, and we waited 10 minutes in our lightning lane. And is this when you beat me? Yes.
Yeah.
You beat me. I guess it was because it was early and I hadn't had enough coffee.
Yeah, maybe.
We also got stuck on this ride, didn't we? Yes, this was the time we got stuck on it. What happened when it stopped?
We shot stuff and it didn't count for points.
Yeah, like it just kept you in the spot you were at shooting the same stuff, but it said 0.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of exhausting, but I think we stopped for like 5 minutes maybe. It wasn't long, but I think it stopped twice, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. We got stopped on a lot of rides this trip.
Yeah.
So after that, we went over to Woody's Lunchbox and got a Pop-Tart and I got another coffee. And what'd you think about the Pop-Tart? That was mostly for you.
It was really good, but there's a Pixar ball on it and it broke. So
It was like a Pixar fondant ball, like a chocolate ball, and it was cracked. But that was okay.
It was still good.
Yeah, there was a pretty long line for food here. Again, I had mobile ordered right when we got off Toy Story Mania. I said we were there for our food. By the time we got over we stopped in the bathrooms over there. By the time we were done with that, it said our food was ready. We walked straight up to the pickup window, got our food. We luckily found a table because this place was packed. We sat down, ate our Pop-Tart. It was like a blueberry-filled Pop-Tart. It was really good.
I want to go there again. It's so good.
It was so good. Then we walked over and did one of our absolute favorites.
We did. We watched the One Man's Dream show.
We walked through the museum and we did the show, and me and Amelia just love that, don't we?
Yeah.
I think everyone who goes to Disney should do that.
Big recommendation.
Big recommendation. After One Man's Dream, we rushed over to Muppet Vision and watched that for the very first time. What'd you think about that?
It was really funny.
So funny. We loved it. I think we waited like 10 minutes for the next show. It wasn't a big deal. After that, it was time for us to leave. So we stopped by the bathrooms and we left Hollywood Studios. We didn't have time to go to the Tower of Terror gift shop. It was fine. It was just something I kind of wanted to do if we had the chance. We hopped on a Skyliner and rode over to the Riviera. And this was our first time visiting the Riviera Resort. What'd you think about it?
It was nice.
Do you like the Skyliner as transportation?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Skyliner was fun. There was no line to get on it. And then when we got over to Caribbean Beach, which is like the hub, we had to get on another Skyliner that took us over to the Riviera. But we stopped and took some pictures. We had given ourselves some time before our breakfast. So we walked around. We took a picture with the Tangled Wall. We kind of saw the pool. We went into the resort. It smelled so good.
Yeah.
We went over to the gift shop, looked around a little bit. And then we went over to the elevators to go up to the restaurant. So I checked into, it said the soonest I could check in was 11:20 for our 11:50 reservation. So I checked in, we got up to the restaurant. The restaurant was very busy and they did not actually call us back until 11:50. So we kind of just sat in the waiting area and just chilled. And then as we were walking in, I think the characters were in the middle of a song, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
This was my favorite meal experience of our trip. What about you?
It was so good.
The food was amazing. We had the best waiter and the character experience was the best.
Donald was really funny.
Oh, yes. We have some really great videos of Donald dancing. So we had a really great table at this restaurant. Our table was kind of in a middle section. So the characters walked right in front of us, right by us to dance and sing and to say hi. And that was so fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the prices at this restaurant are $42 for an adult and $27 for kids. They start out by asking if you want drinks. I got, what drink did I get here? Oh, I had one of their specialty drinks that was not actually on their menu. It was like a pear.
Yeah.
It was
like some sort of lemon pear thing.
It was like a lemon pear. Oh, it had limoncello and pear and something else. It was really, really good. And you just got a soda, right?
Yeah.
Then they bring you out a basket of pastries, and those were really good. It was like chocolate croissant. This was another place that had really good butter for the rolls. And then for the entree, I chose the quiche Lorraine frittata. It had house-made pancetta, roasted potatoes, Gruyere, and a lemon vinaigrette, and it came with like a little salad. This was so delicious. Oh my gosh. It was beautiful. The presentation was beautiful, and it was so yummy. Amelia got the Mickey waffle dippers. This was the cutest breakfast. It came out on like an artist palette. And what else did it have on it?
It had like the waffles were like with powder on them, and they're like a push pop kind of thing. They also had like little potatoes. Really good.
And then they had like on the artist palette, they had different dipping sauces for your waffle. It was like strawberry, chocolate, and syrup.
I only did the syrup one because I don't like strawberries and like kind of stuff like that. And I didn't think chocolate would go good with those waffles, so I only did the syrup.
The waffles were so cute. Like she said, they were like a push pop, so you could just like hold them and dip them in almost like a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. Characters were so fun. Oh my gosh. These were my favorite characters. They have the cutest costumes on. Donald was a painter. Daisy was a dancer. Mickey was a painter. Or maybe Donald was a sculptor.
Yeah, Donald was like a sculptor.
Mm-hmm. And what was
Minnie was like the person who writes like letters and poems.
She was a poet, so she had like a newspaper print dress.
Yeah.
They were so cute. We had so much fun. After we ate, they have this outdoor terrace because it's on the top floor of the Riviera. So they have an outdoor terrace you can walk on. You can see 3 parks from there. You can see Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. So that was really cool. This was really fun. We loved this dining experience. I would highly recommend. I think everyone should try it. Totally worth it, 100%. So I'm trying to remember what time it was. I think it was like close to 1 at this point. We could park hop starting at 2. So we went back to the gift shop and we actually bought a couple of things. I actually looked at lightning lanes for Animal Kingdom, and I grabbed us a Navi River Journey one at 2 p.m. We went out to the buses at Riviera. We waited a little bit for a bus, but it was kind of nice because we were full. So the weather was absolutely gorgeous, probably high 70s, sunny. So we kind of just like literally laid on the bench because we were the only people out there, waited for the Animal Kingdom bus. I think we waited 15, 20 minutes maybe. The bus came and picked us up. We were at Animal Kingdom at about 1:40. It was pretty quick. We were the only people on the bus. We stopped there's a Joffrey's coffee station outside of there, and we stopped there, and I got a shaken Jamaican cold brew. You didn't get anything, did you?
No.
It was yummy, so yummy. We took some pictures outside of Animal Kingdom. And then at about 1:45, I was like, I wonder if we can just go ahead and click through and they'll let us in. And they did. So we actually got in a little bit early. We walked in, we stopped with a PhotoPass photographer and took some pictures in front of the Tree of Life. Then we walked over to Pandora. We got to Navi River Journey. So we got to Navi River Journey at about 2:05. The standby was 60 minutes. And with the lightning lane, it was a walk-on for us. I could not believe we literally walked straight through the line and got on a boat. This was the first time both of us had ridden this ride. What'd you think about it?
It was real cool. And yeah.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All the lights, very relaxing. once after I had checked into Navi River Journey, as we were walking, I grabbed us a lightning lane for dinosaur with an arrival time of 2:40 to 3:40. So after we got off Navi River Journey, the animatronic at the end of that ride looks so real. Like I thought it was real.
I did too.
I kept looking at it thinking, is that real? It was pretty crazy. So my planning for our Animal Kingdom Day, walking wise, was not great. Hindsight, I should have waited and grabbed us a Navi River Journey when we were going to be closer to the time of riding Flight of Passage, but I didn't. So we were kind of all over the place this day. So after we rode that, we walked over to the gift shop that's outside of Flight of Passage, and we walked through there, and we bought Aiden a shirt there because he loves Pandora, and we couldn't find him anything Star Wars. Did we get anything else there?
I don't think so.
Did you get some candy?
No.
I thought we got something else. Maybe not. So then we stopped at the drink station there, Pongu Pongu, and I got the Rum Blossom and you got the Night Blossom drink, and we grabbed our drinks and walked over to Dino Land and drank our drinks on the way. We got to Dinosaur at about 2:45. The standby said it was 45 minutes, and in Lightning Lane, we waited about 10 minutes. This was also your first time riding Dinosaur. What did you think?
It was really fun.
It was really fun. Were you scared?
No, not really.
So that ride was a lot darker than I remembered. It's very dark.
Yeah.
And jerky.
It is a little jerky.
But it was fun. So after Dinosaur, we ran over to where they were doing kite tails on the water there because there was a show at 3:15. We got there like 5 minutes before the show started, and you did not want to watch the show. Like you were like, why are we watching this show? But
it was really good.
You ended up liking it, right?
Yeah.
It was fun. Our favorite part, what was our favorite part?
When they crashed.
Yeah, watching the kites crash at the end. That was so funny. After Kite Tails, we walked back over to Pandora for our Flight of Passage Lightning Lane. Our arrival time was 3:40 to 4:40. The standby line was 70 minutes, but we waited 32 minutes. That line was so slow. For a Lightning Lane line, it was very long. This was the longest one we had to stand in. And so they put us in this one queue, like they separate you once you get to the end. Like walking through the line was fast. It was when we got to the point where they start separating you for which thing you're going to go in to actually ride the ride. So that line was very, very long, and it was all Lightning Lane. And I guess the DAS Pass people came through there, so they would load them before Lightning Lane. And there were a ton of people on the DAS Pass, which is the disability pass. And so we just waited forever. I feel like they kind of should have mixed it up a little bit more, but they didn't. And so we waited 32 minutes, and it's just such a boring spot to be standing in line. And my complaint is because when you're paying for this line, you're paying so you don't have to wait. And for the two of us to ride, this was $29. And so I was just a little bit frustrated about that. I think they should kind of figure out a way to make that more seamless for the people who are paying for it. So that morning, I want to mention I also had gone ahead and ordered us Satuli Canteen for a dinner pickup at 5:10. I knew that's where I wanted to eat. I had originally ordered Amelia a cheese quesadilla and me one of the chicken noodle bowls, but I wasn't super hungry. And when we had walked by there earlier, I noticed those noodle bowls were huge, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to eat that. So while we were waiting in line, I went ahead and jumped on our order, and I changed our order. And that is something I love about mobile ordering is you can make your mobile order you can set it early in the morning for any time during the day. And you can go in and you can change your order, and you can even change your arrival times. I don't know how easy it would be to make it sooner because I've never done that, but I have gone in and made it later multiple times, and usually the later times are always available. So I decided to change mine to like the cheeseburger bao buns, and I kept her order the same. But anyway, so we rode Flight of Passage, and what did you think about Flight of Passage?
It's one of my favorite rides there.
It's still so amazing, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
We had 2 little kids on our ride, and they were pretty young. I'm going to say they were like 5 and 6. Wouldn't you think? Or maybe even younger. Like they were tall for their age, but they were young.
I feel like they're like 6 or 5.
They were hysterically crying. They were so scared.
No, there's only one who was crying. There's another person who was crying. The people with 2, they didn't cry. They were excited.
No, those 2 little kids were crying.
They were.
Like one of them was hysterically crying, and the other one was just crying.
Well, yeah.
So the one who was hysterically crying, so they take us in our rooms and we get on our like banshees, the bikes. And we kind of had to wait a while because this kid would not get on. Like his mom kept telling him, it's okay, it's not scary. But he would not get on. So we kind of had to sit and wait. She ended up leaving with him because he was just so scared. And then the other kid was sitting on theirs, but she was still crying. I could hear her crying. I felt so sad for her. I really hope she ended up liking the ride because it's a little bit thrilling, but it's not scary. Do you think it, because you don't like scary rides, do you think it's scary?
It's not scary at all to me, but I think for like a little kid, it'd be a little scary.
Yeah, so we did the ride. We loved it as always. That ride is so fun. I love the smells. I love the smells on rides. It's like one of my things.
Yeah.
So that was great. Great experience. We got off that ride. We went over to Thule Canteen, got our food. It was ready by the time we got there. We sat down and our food was delicious. You actually tried one of my cheeseburger buns and loved it, right?
I mean, I did like it. It wasn't the best, but...
Well, you kept wanting to eat it.
Yeah, it was like a thing that like, I was like, I'll eat it again, but I didn't really like it at the same time, but I also did, kind of, but...
Oh my gosh, you are so funny. My memory is you liked it, because you took a bite and you're like, this is so good.
The aftertaste wasn't that great, though, but...
Oh my gosh. I thought it was delicious, and the little coleslaw it comes with was good, but even better were the veggie chips. Those veggie chips were delicious. So, so good. Did you like your cheese quesadilla?
Yeah. It was really good.
So we sat and ate, and then after we got done eating, we walked over to Africa. Mm-hmm. It was getting kind of late, and we had heard, we hadn't heard at this point, but we wanted to do the safari. I went to go grab us a lightning lane after Dinosaur, but I couldn't. Or no, while we were in line for Flight Passage, I tried to get us a lightning lane, but there were no more available. And I was like, that's so weird. Why are there no lightning lanes? Because Animal Kingdom was not busy. There were a lot of people there, but it was nothing like the other parks we had been to. And so I was so confused. We walk over to Africa. We kind of did some shopping in those shops over there. And then I saw people running to the safari saying, we have to get on. It's about to close. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have to go. So we were right there. I see a lady holding a sign that says the line closes at 5:50. And so we got in line right literally a minute before it was going to close. I was so glad too, because I would have been really, really bummed out if we didn't get to do the safari, because this was our only day at Animal Kingdom, and the safari was definitely one of my musties.
Oh, we also saw a YouTuber here.
Yeah, there was a YouTuber in line right in front of us.
And you knew all the YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sweet. I recognized this one because I follow them on Instagram. But they were on the same safari Jeep as we were.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting we waited about 10 minutes for the safari. We got the very front row, which I was like, oh, I don't want to be in the front row. The YouTubers that were with us got the very back row. But we've always sat in the back, so I was kind of nervous, but I loved sitting in the front. Did you like sitting in the front?
Yeah, it was really cool.
So we were one of the last Jeeps that left. I think there was only one Jeep after us that left. And all the animals were awake because they had just ate. And it was so fun seeing them. The lions were awake. The hippos were out. We got to see everything. The giraffes were out. It was so fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Probably the lions. Those were really cool.
Yeah, it was fun seeing the lions awake. So after we got off the safari, I was looking at lightning lanes. We had kind of done everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I noticed that I could grab one for Cali River Rapids. Now, I absolutely hate water rides. But I asked Amelia, do you want to do this ride? And she was like, yes, I want to do this ride. So thankfully, I had ponchos first. So I grabbed a lightning lane, which we didn't even need because it was a walk-on. Either line was a walk-on. The good thing about this ride is they have lockers that are free that you can use to put your stuff in. So we stopped by the lockers. We put our stuff in. We put our ponchos on, and we had really good ponchos. Like they're super big, and they have elastic around your wrist. So they really like tie you in. I tied our head things pretty tight so that we were safe for the most part. We still got a little bit wet. So we got on the ride. It was just a total walk-on. We went the first time, and the people that were on the ride, they never actually even got off.
No.
Because no one was waiting, and there were so many boats, they just let them stay on and ride again. So we rode that time. We didn't really get wet.
No.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Really fun.
It was fun. It's really short.
It is really short, but it was still fun.
Yeah. So we go back around and we asked them, can we just stay on and ride it one more time? Because Amelia wanted to ride it again. And since we didn't get wet, I was like, hey, why not? And they were like, sure. And they let another family on. Okay, this is where I learned the more people on the boat, the more wet you're going to get.
And basically all the seats were filled.
Yeah. So the whole thing was full. They let this big family on. And we got so wet on this time.
We did.
I say we got so wet. It was mostly just our bottom, like our feet and the bottom part of our legs that weren't covered.
Yeah, but I felt like, because I saw my knees, they were covered with the poncho. But I felt like the water went through the poncho because my knees were very wet.
Yeah, and our faces got wet too.
Yeah.
So we rode that again. It was fun. The family that jumped on did not have ponchos.
No.
And they got so wet. It was kind of funny. But that was fun. So we did not want to ride it again after that because we got wet. I was like, we are getting off this ride. Amelia was getting kind of, she wanted an ice cream snack.
Yeah.
So we left Cali River Rapids and we went left to walk through Asia. And Expedition Everest is closed right now. So Asia was dead. There was literally no one there. We stopped at that snack place, Thirsty Trek Snacks, I think is what it's called, right when they were going to be closing down. We got you a Mickey bar. I bought some popcorn. I'm pretty sure I got us a water.
Yeah.
We took some pictures because this is such a beautiful part of Animal Kingdom. Literally no one was there. No one was around. So we got all these really awesome pictures. Oh, we did stop at the gift shop outside Cali River Rapids. And you got your koala.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And I got a really cute spirit jersey from Yak and Yeti, which I'm so glad I had because it was like a Sherpa sweater type of spirit jersey. And the cold weather was about to be here. Mm-hmm. But this day it was still really nice out. So we walked all the way around back to the front. And I had grabbed us a lightning lane for It's Tough to Be a Bug. It was a walk-on. So we're walking through that line is so long. And you're up where the Tree of Life is right above you. So they started doing the Beacons of Magic show on the Tree of Life. So we kind of stopped and looked up and got to see it. All the lights on the tree from the bottom. And that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And walked straight into It's Tough to Be a Bug. Didn't wait at all. You love that show.
Uh-huh.
It's so silly. There were crying babies. Someone had to leave because right in the beginning, I can't remember. Something comes out, like a spider.
Yeah, that was some sort in the beginning.
And that kid was like, I'm done with this ride. So they had to leave. We got done with It's Tough to Be a Bug. So the park this night closed at I think at 8.
Yeah. No, it closed at 10 because You said that Magic Kingdom closed way before.
No, Animal Kingdom closes the earliest. I think it closed at 8. It was either 7 or 8. So we walk out of It's Tough to Be a Bug. Everyone's in front of the Tree of Life. We can't figure out why. And then that like show starts for the Tree of Life, where they do the show on it with like the Lion King and the deer's running.
Yeah, but we first saw it lighting up when we were in the line for It's Tough to Be a Bug, and I was like, the show's going on.
Yeah, but the actual show started then, so we watched that for a little bit. We took some video of it, and then I was like, okay, we don't want to get in a bad bus situation. Because first of all, I'm not a fan of the buses at all. And so we slowly started walking out as the show was still going on. And we're like walking backwards, watching the show, watching the show. And then we left. We went out to the bus. And there was like not that many people there. No. It was a fairly short line. And we made the first bus. Like we got on. I think we might have waited 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Wasn't long at all. Mm-hmm. It was still early, and Amelia wanted to go swimming once we got back to our resort. And I was like, yeah, I hate swimming. And it was pretty chilly this night. And I'm like, oh, I don't like cold water. I don't like swimming. I was like, why don't we go hot tub? So we agreed to go hot tub. So we got back to the room and changed clothes, got our swimsuits on, dropped off all our stuff. And we went to the hot tub. So so at Riverside, the pool and hot tub is on an island. It's called Old Man's Island, and there's bridges that connect it. So our room was probably a 6-minute walk to the pool. It wasn't far at all. So we got there. The hot tub was closed. We were so bummed. But I noticed steam coming out of the pool. So I felt the pool, and the pool was kind of warm. Like it was warm enough to swim for us Texans.
Yeah.
So we got in the pool. So I went and got us some towels, put them on a chair, and it was cold. Like we were cold. We took we were wearing like sweats over our swimsuits, and we went and we like took our sweats off, and we like ran over to the pool as fast as we could to get in. And we swam for like probably 30 minutes.
Yeah. There was this also really cool slide that I went on. But like there was like you had to walk out of the water to go in it, and I was like really freezing. But when I got on it, it was like kind of like it was a fun slide, but like it was like kind of like chillaxing and stuff.
It was a slow slide.
Yeah. But at the end, I didn't notice it was going to go down that fast. So I didn't put my feet on the ground, and my face went in the water.
Yeah, you don't necessarily like that, but...
No.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a really good time swimming. And the pool, there were actually a lot of people swimming that evening.
There was.
So like we swam for 30 minutes, and then I just started getting cold.
I did too.
So we decided to get out. And we dried off as best as we could. We put our sweats back on, and then we went over to the lobby and the gift shop and that whole area because we hadn't really explored that yet. This resort has the nicest gift shop. It's so nice. It's humongous. It has so much stuff in it. So we walked around there, and we really liked that. I had also been checking my charges because I was pretty much charging most things to my Magic Band. And I noticed that when we had stopped at the Animal Kingdom Joffrey, so I also had gift cards, and I tried paying with my gift cards, and she's like, they don't have any money on them, which I knew they did. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just pay with my Magic Band. And she made me tap it twice, which was also weird because the first time she's like, oh, it didn't work. And I was like, what? I even asked her, is this weird? Like nothing I'm paying with works? And she goes, yeah, it actually is kind of weird. Anyways, I noticed I had been charged twice for my drinks. So I went to the front desk, and I, kind of told them, I'm like, and the charges were like 4 minutes apart. So I told them, I went and I bought this drink, and then 4 minutes later, I have this other charge that I did not purchase. And I kind of told them what happened. They were super nice, didn't even question it. They took the second charge off right away, which that was nice. So we bought a couple things in the gift shop. We bought a pen, and what else did you buy? Wishables.
I'm trying to make a collection of them.
So yes, at this point, almost everywhere we stopped, we bought Wishables. Sometimes we bought the bag. We mostly bought the bags, the 50th anniversary bags, didn't we?
Yeah, we got Daisy and Dale.
Yeah. So we went back to the room and just relaxed. We had a really, really fun day. I think we were back to the room about like 8:30, 8:40, and watched some TV and got ready for the next day. Okay, so our last park day was a Saturday. I had originally planned, we actually had a couple of plans that we had canceled originally. So originally I had an Ohana dinner reservation for this evening at 5, which I canceled because I knew we just needed to maximize our park time at this point. We had done a couple of sit-down meals, and while I love sit-down meals, they take up so much time, and Amelia doesn't really eat a lot, so they're fun, especially when there's characters, but Ohana doesn't have characters right now, and so I've also heard it's a really long meal, so for us, it just wasn't going to be a great idea. So then I had scheduled us a Kona Cafe breakfast over at the Polynesian. But again, I was like, I don't want to do a sit-down meal, but I really wanted to go to the Polynesian and eat something. So I canceled our Kona Cafe reservation, and I was like, we'll just run over there and grab breakfast at Captain Cook's before we head over to Magic Kingdom for the day. So we slept in a little bit because we were really tired at this point. I woke up around 8. I grabbed my phone. I grabbed a lightning lane for Peter Pan at 12:55. We were going to be going to Magic Kingdom and then park hopping to Epcot. I also mobile ordered us breakfast at Captain Cook's for a pickup at 9:30. I got the Tonga toast and I got Amelia waffles as usual. So we just kind of woke up, got dressed. We didn't necessarily rush. I went ahead and just looked on Uber. I got us an Uber to pick us up and take us over to the Polynesian. It was a $10 ride. So they picked us up at 9:30 right outside our building. It was super easy. This driver was really nice, except he did have some really loud, like, rap music playing.
No, it was a girl.
No, that was a different ride.
Wait. Oh.
It was raining and freezing cold. Mm-hmm. Like freezing cold. So I wore leggings, and then I wore my new Spirit jersey that I had gotten because it was like sweater material. And then I packed us ponchos, and you wore like a sweater and sweatpants. So we got to the Poly and walked through. That resort is so beautiful. Wasn't it pretty?
Yeah.
We took some pictures. We walked back to Captain Cook's. Our breakfast was ready when we got there. So we grabbed our breakfast, grabbed a table. This place was pretty busy. Like, there really weren't that many tables. The food was really good. I really liked the Tonga toast. I had been wanting to try it. I'd heard a lot about it. It was definitely worth trying, and I am so glad that we just did Captain Cook's instead of a whole restaurant situation. It was so easy. It was kind of on our own schedule. We were in and out of there pretty quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are your waffles?
Kind of just like regular Mickey waffles. They're still good.
So then after that, we stopped by the gift shop. That they have an amazing gift shop. So pretty, so big, so much cute stuff. And then we stopped and took some more pictures, and then we walked up to the monorail and got on a monorail to Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Don't you love the monorail?
Yeah, it's really fun.
So we got to Magic Kingdom. Oh, right when we got to Magic Kingdom, when we got in, Pooh and his friends were up on...
Oh my God.
They were up on like the Disney Railway thing, but they were done and we were so sad. We're like, oh no. But I had seen on different videos where they come in and out. So it's over on the side, kind of by the guest services once you're in the park, like behind that popcorn stand right there. So I said, oh, let's go over here and we'll get to see him. So they walked down the ramp and we got to see them close up and they're like waving at us and they are so cute. And then who was the cutest?
Eeyore.
What did Eeyore do?
He just didn't want to leave.
Eeyore was so sad. He didn't want to leave and he was walking with his head down and he covered his ears over his eyes like he was crying. He was so cute. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So our goal for this day was just to get done some things we hadn't got to do because we had almost done everything at Magic Kingdom at this point.
Yeah.
So our first stop was the Tiki Room. I've never seen that show. Amelia had never seen that show, so we were really excited to see it. We waited about 15 minutes for the show, and what'd you think?
Pretty nice, pretty nice.
It was cute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love original things, and I know Walt was not alive when Walt Disney World opened, but the Tiki Room is at Disneyland, and it was like something he loved. So I love stuff that I know Walt had a hand in doing. So the Tiki Room was fun. It was raining when we left here. We had to put our ponchos on. We decided to go walk through the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, and that was fun.
Yeah.
While we were on that, as we were walking through that, I decided to grab a lightning lane for Buzz Lightyear at 11. Oh, I grabbed it at 11 for an entry time of between 12 and 1. So we started walking over to Tomorrowland and we decided to stop at Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. This was Amelia's first time to do this. We waited about 15 minutes for the show. What'd you think about that?
It was really funny.
It was so funny. They kept picking on this one dad. It was really funny. There was this other guy. I can't remember what they did with him, but he was such a good sport. He was super funny too. They kept asking him to like wink. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was funny.
Because he was like trying to be Mike Wazowski. So
oh, yeah.
They were like, can you have one eye? And he like was like...
Yeah, he was funny. So that was fun. After that, we went to Buzz Lightyear. The standby was 25 minutes. We waited 7. What'd you think about this ride?
Wasn't really the best.
She did not like this ride. The gun... So... We're used to like Toy Story Mania shooting games, and the gun on this game is a little bit different. It's not really accurate, is it?
No, not really.
And yours wasn't working very good.
It wasn't. It was like really hard to like push the button, and I just basically turned the thing around.
Yeah, she was pretty grouchy about it. But seeing the big buzz at the end was fun.
Yeah.
So I grabbed us a lightning lane for Barnstormer after this, which we didn't even really need because that ride was a walk-on. So we walked over there. We went on that ride. What'd you think of You didn't want to go on Barnstormer. You were kind of scared of it.
I kind of was.
But what'd you think about it?
It was fun.
You loved it. And it was like really raining. So we were like getting hit with rain in our face.
Yeah.
Were we in the back row the first time we rode it? I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, we were in the back row because you were like, I don't want to be in the back row. So it whipped us around.
Oh, yeah.
And once we got off that, we just walked around and got right back on it because I think because it was raining, no one wanted to ride this ride because it's 100% outside. So we just walked all the way back around. We had ponchos on, so we were good, and got right back on the ride and rode it again.
Also, on the first time when we were leaving, this person, like, didn't hold the door and it hit my head really hard.
Yeah, so there's like a gate/door when you're leaving, and the adult in front of us just like, I don't know.
Like, let go of the door.
They just like let go and it slammed right on you. It was so weird. Like, I always hold gates open until the next person behind me can grab it, especially if there's kids. Like, this person just
was just like...
And I like... couldn't react fast enough to grab it to stop it from happening. It just like happened so fast. Mm-hmm. So you were pretty sad about that.
Yeah.
So after the second time we rode Barnstormer, I grabbed us a lightning lane for Speedway. But before we went over to Speedway, we stopped in that Big Top Circus area, and you got one of those like tubes with the sour powder.
Yeah. I got like 3 of those for the whole thing. They're just so good.
Yeah. And did we get anything else there? I can't remember.
We got bubbles to fill my bubble machine.
We got bubbles for the bubble machine. So we walked over to Speedway, and it said there was a 5-minute wait, but there is no way there was a 5-minute wait because the line was stretched out of the queue, like down the walkway, and they weren't social distancing or anything. So we got in line for that. We waited 10 minutes in the lightning lane. So again, there's no way standby was 5 minutes because that line wasn't even moving. Amelia drove the car in the rain, and we survived.
And also with my like kind of poncho thing, it like my mom like tied it on my chin, and then like air was still in it, so there's like a spike on my head, and I kept calling myself a Teletubby.
Yeah, she looked like, it was funny.
Yeah.
You had like a cone head.
And then also on one of the videos, I saw someone else who looked just like that, and I was like, it's my mom.
It was funny. So after that, we walked over to Peter Pan. Standby was 110 minutes, and in Lightning Lane, we waited 12 minutes. We had really great luck with Lightning Lane and Genie Plus. I would 100%, I will always buy this when I go to the parks. It was so great. We get on Peter Pan, and we got stuck. In the first scene, I guess it's the second scene. It's when we're over the city, flying over the city. We got stuck for like 15 minutes. Just sitting there.
And then we went back on. It kept going, but then it stopped again.
And we sat for like another 10 minutes. And we didn't know if they were like loading people who had been in scooters or like what was going on because it kept stopping. And I like this ride. I think it's really cute. It kind of almost ruined the ride that we couldn't just ride through it.
Yeah. And the music just started scaring me. Like, I was just like,
But once we got off the ride, there were technicians there working on it. So we realized that it was actually like glitching or broken or something.
Yeah.
So we left Magic Kingdom at about 1:30. We were freezing cold. Like we were so cold. We stopped and did get a couple of photo pass pictures, and we stopped and took a picture with Roy and Minnie. But yeah, we were freezing and it was cold, and we were going to Epcot later that day. So we needed to get back, change clothes, and put warmer clothes on because our plan was to watch Harmonious that night. So I knew that night would be extra cold. And I just want to note, we did not bring jackets on this trip because when I had looked at the weather before we left, it did not say it was going to be this cold. So we were not prepared at all.
Nope.
So we got on a bus. There was like a bus waiting for us. We ran to the bus.
Yeah.
We saw the bus and we're like running and we're like, wait for us. And he waited for us and we got on. We got back to the room. We kind of warmed up a little bit. I made a cup of coffee for me. You kind of relaxed in bed. You ate some of the snacks we had.
Yeah.
And we put on tons of clothes.
I put on 2 pairs of pants. I put 3 pairs of shirts, but also I had a jacket. So if I put my jacket on, it'd be 4.
While we were in the room, I went ahead and grabbed us a lightning lane for Spaceship Earth at $2.50. So yeah, we changed clothes. We walked out to the buses. We got on a bus pretty quick. Mm-hmm. We didn't have to wait too long. And we were the only ones on the bus, and we headed over to Epcot. And we ran to this bus too.
Yeah.
He was sitting there and we were running over to him and he waited for us. It was pretty nice. So we, when we got to Epcot, we saw Goofy and Pluto and they were so cute.
Uh-huh.
And we saw another YouTuber.
And we tried to get in their YouTube video.
I think we're in the video. We walked right behind him as he was filming.
Uh-huh.
I need to go to his channel and see.
Yeah.
So we said hi to Goofy and Pluto. They're so cute. Mm-hmm. I love them. We went to Spaceship Earth. The standby was 5 minutes, which I don't believe because the line was kind of long. But with the lightning lane, it was just a walk on. We love that ride. We got stuck on that ride too, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did.
At the very end.
When we were, when we were going backwards.
Yeah, when they turn you backwards, we got stuck and sat there for like 10 minutes.
Yep.
So while we were on Spaceship Earth, I went ahead and grabbed us a lightning lane for the Nemo ride at 320. After we got off Spaceship Earth, they have like that room where they have all that interactive stuff. So the last time we were here, the boys did not really want to do that. They kind of just wanted to go ride to ride to ride. So we didn't stop. But since it was just me and Amelia, she wanted to stop and actually experience some of that stuff and interact with some of those games. So we did. And it was really fun, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. We also did a picture.
So we played those games, and then I was like, we gotta go. We have a lightning lane. And so we walked over to the sea area. We did a photo pass picture. Then we walked in, and that standby was 10 minutes. With the lightning lane, it was a walk on. Once we got on. So on this ride, we kind of had something weird happen. My band, when I did it on the thing, turned blue. And they're like, okay, just do it again. So I did it again, but I kind of pulled it away, I think too soon. So it turned green, and they're like, okay, you can go. Well then, so on some rides, you have to check in twice with your band, and your thing on My Disney Experience won't reset until after you've checked into that second spot. So I checked into that. Again, I pulled it away, I think too soon. It turned green. We went through. I went to go set us a lightning lane for Living with the Land, but it didn't reset mine. So I could only set it for Amelia. I looked at the wait times. Living with the Land was only a 5-minute wait. I was like, it's no big deal. So I had to wait until my hour for Nemo was up before I could schedule a ride for us on for our next ride. Which was fine because I knew by the time we did Nemo and by the time we got finished with Living with the Land, it would be that hour would have been up. So we did Nemo. Nemo's a cute ride. Mm-hmm. So after Nemo, we went over to the land, and Amelia hadn't done the Nemo ride, and she hasn't done Living with the Land. So we went and did Living with the Land. It was a 5-minute wait. We waited 5 minutes, and we got the front row of the boat. Yay! I haven't done this ride in a really long time. I loved this ride. Did you like it?
Yeah.
It was so fun. It's just calm, peaceful, and it was nice to be inside because it was rainy and cold outside. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't raining too much anymore, but it was definitely cold.
It was freezing.
So, like I had predicted, once we got off Living with the Land, I went ahead and set us a lightning lane for Imagination with Figment. And I booked that at 4:20. So we just walked over there. The standby was 15 minutes. The lightning lane was a walk-on. That was a funny ride. I've never done this ride. You've never done this ride. It was funny.
It's so fun also.
So after the ride, we came out. And I usually am like really good about keeping up with Disney news, but because we were at Disney, I hadn't really been keeping up with it. So when we walked out of that ride into that area where they have interactive stuff and I saw characters, I legit got so excited. Like Vanellope was there from Wreck-It Ralph and Joy from Inside Out. I was so excited. And looking back, of course they were out there. Everyone had been talking about how characters were coming back and how they were going to be there. But I think we saw them on their first day back.
Yeah, I think so.
So we stopped and got pictures with them. We also did some of the interactive stuff there. That was really fun.
Yeah, there was like a thing where you could put your hand through and you can move the little figments. We also, a lot of people did this thing where it's like you had to find the code. I think that was broken though because these people did it right, but then they clicked another button to make it work, but then it just didn't do it for some reason. We also did this thing where you stepped on something and then musical instruments came on and then yeah. It was cool.
You create your own figment.
We also did a create your own figment. That was also cute.
Yeah, that was fun. Amelia created her own figment and emailed it to me, so we have it. Mm-hmm. So after Figment, it was time to go to the World Showcase, and I was so excited. I absolutely love Epcot. We had briefly been to Epcot during our VIP tour, but I was so excited to be there today and really get to do, like, check out the artist and go through every pavilion. That was our goal. So the first thing we did was stopped at the port of entry, and we bought the Figment Festival of the Arts scavenger hunt because we love doing those. She was like, "You want your prize right now?" Amelia said no. I said yes. Because I was like, why would we not get it right now? And so it was this little, like, paint your own figure. And which one did you pick?
I chose Figment.
He's so cute. So then we went to Mexico. I was starving. Were you hungry?
I was really hungry.
So we grabbed dinner. Where did we grab dinner? La Hacienda de Angel. I think it was like the quick service restaurant right there by the water. The line was so long for the food, but we didn't wait that long, maybe like 10 minutes.
But it was so good.
So good. Amelia got mac and cheese. I got a cheese and piñata. It was amazing. This was probably my favorite thing I ate on the whole trip. It came with rice and beans. I also got a Mexican sangria. You got a soda, I think.
Yeah.
We got a table right by the water because there's only outdoor seating there. It was freezing cold. Freezing cold.
Yes. Very, 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 very cold.
But the food was so good. We sat there and we ate, and then we went into the Mexico Pavilion. We shopped a little bit, walked around. You tried on a big sombrero hat. They were selling blankets that I was very tempted to buy, but I did not. And then we went and rode 3 Caballeros, which was a walk-on. I love this ride. Did you like it?
Yeah.
It was cute, wasn't it? I love the inside of the Mexico Pavilion. This was the first time you had been there.
Yeah.
It was cool, wasn't it? So then we went to Norway, and all along we're doing the Figment scavenger hunt. So you have to look for a painting, like a famous painting that Figment has, like, imported himself into, which we didn't realize at first.
Yeah.
We were, like, looking for the real painting because the stickers on the game had the real painting. But I think it was like the third country we're like, oh, Figment's in the painting. So then that made it easier for us, kind of.
Yeah.
So we went to Norway. We went through the gift shops. We walked around. You took a picture with the big giant troll. We walked over to China, went through the shop, kind of explored that whole pavilion. And in Germany, we stopped at the caramel store. We bought some caramels for Dad. Also walked all the way through there. I have to say, Epcot was insanely busy. I had wanted to try all these food booths. That was like the one thing I was so excited to do. The lines for the food booths were ridiculously long. Like I didn't try any food booths because, first of all, it was really cold. They're all outside. So it had just been standing in the cold. And I just was like, at this point, for me, it just wasn't worth it. So then we went to America. They were doing the Broadway show, so we kind of stood and watched a Broadway show. We went to Japan. We shopped in that big store. We went to the Kawaii Museum. We went to Italy, shopped some more, took pictures. We went to Morocco. We walked all around Morocco. Same with France. We walked all the way around France. My favorite drink is in France. We stood in line for about 10 minutes. The line never moved, so we just got out of line. I was like, this is crazy. It was so busy. It was crazy. We went to England. Same thing. Shopped, took pictures. It was getting late. It was about 7:45 at this point. We went to Canada. We stopped at a Joffrey's, and I got a hot coffee. You got a big giant donut. And we decided to stop in Canada to get a spot to watch Harmonious. So this was about at 8:10. We got a really great spot. There were like some tables there. We just sat on the ground. It was really nice. Like, you played with your bubble wand, right?
Yeah.
We saw an owl. That was cool. We saw some ducks fight.
I wanted to throw them, like, I wanted to throw the ducks, like, a little piece of my bread from the donut, but Mommy said no.
Well, I just didn't want the ducks to like never leave us because we were going to be sitting there for a while. So it really started getting busy in our area once it got closer to 9, which is when Harmonious was starting. So I'm really glad we kind of stopped and got a spot. It was freezing cold. Like, I can't express enough how cold it was. Harmonious was a great show. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Amazing. I absolutely loved it. Canada's a really good spot to watch it from if you're needing a good spot that's not the traditional spots where everyone's at. Yeah, I loved it. Did you like it?
Yeah.
I liked the one at Magic Kingdom better.
I did too.
But Harmonious is great. So then the park is closed. This is the one thing I did not like about this show at Epcot, because at Magic Kingdom, at least after the fireworks, the park is still open. So it's not like, yes, there's a big crowd to the buses, but not everyone is going. But when Harmonious is over, the park is closed. Everything is closed. So everyone is leaving. So it was like this huge crowd to leave. Huge. Once we got to the bus, the line was extremely long and there were a ton of scooters. And so we had to wait a long time for the scooters to get loaded and to even get on a bus. We ended up getting on the second bus, which was nice. We got back to the room. It was late. I had brought cash to pay for our charges on the room, and we were checking out the next day. So I got Amelia situated in the room, put on a show for her, and I left and went to the front to the lobby, and I paid out our tab. And I stopped in the gift shop and got a couple of bottles of water. And then I saw Yeehaw Bob. He was in, I think it's called the River Roost, singing. So I kind of stood there and watched that for a second. That looked so much fun. I think if you're ever going to Port Orleans, definitely make time to go see him. I kind of wish we would have. But anyways, that looked great. So got back to the room and crashed. Like, we were so tired. Mm-hmm. So Sunday, our flight was leaving at 5:20. We were getting picked up by Tiffany Town Car at 3:20. So we slept in until about 9. It took me an hour to pack our stuff. Like, we had so much stuff, and trying to configure out how to configure how it was going to go took forever. You just watched TV.
Yeah.
But I packed. It was freezing cold outside still. We left the room right at 11 at checkout. We dropped off our bags at Bell Service. Then we walked over to the French Quarter to get beignets for breakfast. Waited probably 15 minutes in line for those. Waited another probably 15 minutes to get those. Those were so good, weren't they?
They are delicious.
Amazing. Oh, you have to, I highly, highly recommend stopping by French Quarter and getting beignets. So good. So from there, we got a bus to Disney Springs. We didn't have to wait long for the bus.
No, not really.
Yeah. Once we were at Disney Springs, we went back to World of Disney. Now, granted, it was a Sunday afternoon. This place was packed. So busy. After World of Disney, we went over to the Art Corner. And what'd you do at Art Corner?
I did spin art. That was really fun.
What was that like?
So basically, you just choose 5 paints, and then this person, one of the workers, does this bike thing where she, pedals on the bike, and then you get to, drop the colors in, and you also get to put a little bit of glitter, and, yeah. That was super fun. So that picture... I also really wanted, to do the paint thing, where it was these people get to paint your dog, because we have a dog named Rosie, but, Mommy was like, no, you already got enough souvenirs.
Yes, she was quite the souvenir collector. And at this point, I was like, I have to say no. There has to be a no. So that picture was going to take 30 minutes to dry. So while it dried, we went to the co-op. We went to Goofy's Candy Company and bought Asher a souvenir. Mm-hmm. We went to the Christmas store and walked around because it's just so fun to walk around. And then we went back and picked up her spin art, and it was totally dry and ready to go. So because it was so cold, I had wanted to ride a boat back to the resort, and I think a boat would have been faster, but it was so cold. So Amelia was like, can we just please ride a bus? So we walked back to the buses and waited forever for a bus. I think 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. I swear every resort came by but ours, and the line was getting longer. People were getting kind of frustrated because there were people that got there before us that had been waiting even longer for a bus. But finally, a bus came. We got back to the resort at about 2:20. We went to the food court there. I think it's called Riverside Mill Court, and got some cheese pizza. It was really good.
Yeah.
Delicious. It was so hot. It felt like so nice to eat it. We actually took our pizza. So we took our pizza over to the River Roost because it was closed. It's like a bar and lounge, but they have couches. And so we sat there, and Amelia FaceTimed her dad, and I went and got our bags from Bell Services, and we sat there. And at 3:00, our driver from Tiffany Town Car texted us that she was already there. So she was early, which was so nice because we were exhausted. We were kind of just ready to get home at this point, weren't we? Mm-hmm. So we walked out. She's just parked there waiting for us. It was a nice Lincoln Town Car. No, it was a Cadillac. It was actually a Cadillac.
Yeah.
And she loaded our bags for us and took us to the airport. There was no traffic, so we got to the airport pretty quickly. There was no line for security. I've never seen that in my life. We literally walked straight through. We checked our suitcases and some of our other bags, so we didn't have a lot of carry-on bags. And we just went back and waited for our flight. Our flight was on time. So this is an interesting thing. I had bought that extra thing so we could get A boarding, but for some reason, Amelia got A60, which is the last boarding, and I got B1. So I had gone to the front desk of Southwest, and I asked them, and they were like, oh, you're going to have to just board in B1 because they're not going to let you move up. And I was kind of annoyed because that meant family boarding was going to board before us. And I was like, I paid extra to get A because she's too old for family boarding. So I went up and we just stood in line. And once we got to the front, we were the last people checking in for A. And I told her she got A60, I got B1. Can we just board now? The lady was super nice at the gate. She's like, absolutely. Scanned both our cards. And so we got on. Mm-hmm. And this was a very full flight.
Very, very full.
But we got back home in time, and it was a great trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I will never forget it.
Uh-huh.
So now is the time where I always ask everyone, what was your least magical moment of the trip?
Probably when it was so cold.
Yeah, the weather thankfully we only had one really cold day, but that was a bummer. Mm-hmm. We were so excited to go to Epcot, and I didn't even mention, but we walked through some of the art booths. We took pictures with some of the art they had, but it was so cold. It was almost hard to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
My least magical moment were the buses. I feel like this is always my least magical moment, yet I keep staying at resorts where there's only buses. I'm like a glutton for punishment. But the bus situation was good and really bad. It's like, I don't know.
Like good on some parts, bad on some
Yes,
times.
just frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm not a bus fan. So what was your most magical moment?
Probably the Magic Kingdom fireworks.
Yeah, that was mine too. The dessert party and the fireworks was so great.
Yeah.
And the VIP tour. That whole day, that whole Thursday was
the best.
It was the best. Yeah, you'll definitely have to tune in to our next episode where we're going to be really going in depth on the VIP tour. There's just so much that would probably take an hour in itself to talk about everything. So I didn't want to add it into this episode, or this episode would be forever long. But it was an amazing experience. I'm so thankful my husband got that for us to do because it was once in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Amelia, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming on the trip with me. I had so much fun with you.
I did too.
The best part of us traveling together, and I highly recommend if you have an opportunity to get to do a one-on-one trip with your kid, is we just got to do whatever we wanted. If she didn't want to ride a ride, we didn't. If she did, we did. Like, it was so fun. We got snacks when we wanted to.
Yeah.
We rested when we wanted to. It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed Amelia and I reliving our very special vacation. If you're enjoying the show, the best way to support it is by leaving a positive review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. This is the easiest way to help the show grow, and I really appreciate it. I love interviewing guests and giving them a space to share their magical vacation stories. Next week, Amelia and I will go in depth about our VIP tour at Disney. You won't want to miss this. Can't wait to talk next week. So until then, this is Ginny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.